Picture this, Pearland, Texas, one of the safest, most family-friendly, and fastest-growing suburbs of Houston. For a mere $200,000, you are offered a beautiful 1,000-square-foot townhouse with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Inside, you'll find a fresh remodel, gleaming quartz countertops, trendy vinyl plank flooring, and the absolute crown jewel of Texas real estate, a whole home generator. Considering the Texas power grid likes to spontaneously take a vacation the second it gets chilly, that generator basically makes you local royalty. It sounds like the ultimate deal, right? You should probably buy it before someone else does. But wait, as any honest realtor will tell you, always read the fine print. Scroll down the listing and you'll hit a tiny but crucial detail. This is Country Place, a master-planned community strictly for the 55 and older crowd. That's right, for $200K, you're buying into a neighborhood where the wildest party is a Thursday night bingo tournament, and your daily dose of extreme sports is watching people miss putts on the 8th hole of the golf course from your sunroom. If you're a 30-something millennial who thought you just hacked the housing market, think again. The Homeowners Association simply won't let you move in, unless, of course, you're willing to buy a fake gray mustache, wear orthopedic shoes, and aggressively complain about kids these days. On the bright side, the crime rate here is practically non-existent, with 24-hour gated security, roving patrols, and a neighborhood full of retirees with binoculars and entirely too much free time. It's safer than Fort Knox.
Moving on to Houston, Leader Street, and the price tag is the exact same, $200,000. But here, your money goes a lot further. You get a massive, by budget standards, 1,552-square-foot townhouse with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 2 stories. The listing agent is practically singing poetry in the description. The most beautifully renovated unit in the community. Stylish upgrades, move-in ready condition, high vaulted ceilings, and a wood-burning fireplace. Sounds like an absolute dream, doesn't it? The listing also proudly highlights gated community surrounded by lush landscaping. And this is where we pause and look up the zip code, 77072. Welcome to Alief, a neighborhood locals affectionately refer to as SWAT, Southwest Alief, Texas. If Pearland was a retiree paradise, Alief is where life is vibrant, fast-paced, and occasionally requires you to look over your shoulder. It's an incredibly colorful area of Houston with a dual personality. On one hand, you will find arguably the best, most authentic, and cheapest Asian and Latin American food in all of Texas just down the street. On the other hand, the crime rate here is high enough that you'll quickly understand why this townhouse is heavily guarded. That lush landscaping and controlled access gate, that's not just for aesthetics, that's your personal medieval moat. By buying this home, you're getting a gorgeous interior that you might not actually want to leave after dark. You'll be sitting by your cozy wood-burning fireplace, eating the best bowl of pho in the world that you bought around the corner, and smiling about how much money you saved. Just make sure the gate to your lush oasis actually locks at night.
Moving on to Dallas. You see the price tag of $120,000 and think, wow, I've struck gold! A 2-story condo townhouse with nearly 1,200 square feet of space. 2 bedrooms, a whopping 3 bathrooms, a fresh remodel, beautiful new floors, and even a massive covered balcony overlooking a park. The listing agent is literally screaming at you in all caps, everything has been updated. Sounds like the absolute perfect deal in the Bachman Lake area, right? Close to downtown, right by Love Field Airport. But wait, grab a magnifying glass and look at the monthly fees section. Do you see that tiny little number? The HOA, Homeowners Association fee. It's $662 a month. Yes, you heard that right. For the extreme privilege of living in a complex built in 1963, you will be paying almost $8,000 a year just so they can occasionally mow the lawn and take out your trash. For that kind of money, the HOA president should be bringing you a hot croissant every morning and personally giving you a foot massage. At today's rates, your actual mortgage payment on the property will be less than the HOA fee. This is a classic Texas real estate trap. You buy cheap property, pat yourself on the back for saving money, and then spend the rest of your life working to fund the Homeowners Association. And believe me, for your own $662 a month, they will still fine you $100 if your welcome mat is the wrong shade of gray, or if you dare to leave a bicycle on your balcony.
Back to Houston we go. Only $80,000. You're probably expecting me to show you a refrigerator cardboard box under an overpass, right? Nope. This is a 1,340-square-foot townhouse with 2 bedrooms. Inside, you'll find high vaulted ceilings, a massive floor-to-ceiling stone fireplace, and a very stylish wrought iron spiral staircase. It looks like a dream loft from an indie movie. So, what's the catch? First, this is a foreclosure, a bank-owned property. Homes like this are sold strictly as is. If there's a colony of angry raccoons living in the walls, or if the plumbing is held together by hopes and blue duct tape, congratulations, those are your problems now. Second, let's look at the location. Welcome to Aldine. This is a tough, gritty blue-collar neighborhood in North Houston, sandwiched right between a major freeway and George Bush Intercontinental Airport. The roaring engines of landing Boeings will become the official soundtrack of your life, and the local street flavor will definitely teach you to be a light sleeper. For $80K, you get a highly aesthetic stone fireplace, which will serve as an excellent bulletproof barricade if a zombie apocalypse breaks out outside, or just during a particularly wild Friday night neighborhood party. This is a home for brave romantics who value iron staircases more than a quiet night's sleep.
Buckle up, folks. We are diving deep into the bargain bin. Baytown, Texas, with a price tag of just $49,000. The listing joyfully declares, newly remodeled, bright open floor plan, move-in ready. The pictures look surprisingly decent. 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. But you and I are both adults, and we know that for $49K nowadays, you can barely buy a base model pickup truck, let alone a proper house with a foundation. The secret is simple. This is a manufactured mobile home, vintage 1996, and it's located in Chase Village, a mobile home park. You are buying the box itself, but not the land underneath it. You'll be paying lot rent to the park every single month. Baytown is a gritty, heavy industrial city right on the coast, surrounded by massive oil refineries. The smell of freedom and success here often comes with a faint hint of sulfur and gasoline. Living in a trailer park is a very specific, unparalleled genre of American romance. You won't have noisy upstairs neighbors, but you will absolutely hear the guy next door sneeze through your vinyl walls. Also, don't forget, this is the Gulf Coast, home to hurricanes. Riding out a Texas storm in a 96 trailer is a roller coaster experience, and you're buying the ticket right now for $49 grand. But honestly, it's a great option if you have a tight budget and dream of your own little porch where you can sit in a rocking chair, sip a cold beer, and stare menacingly at passing cars.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. We are breaking through the price floor and landing at the $30,000 mark. In some U.S. cities, you can't even buy a parking spot for that kind of money. But in Huffman, Texas, they are offering you a whole estate. Well, or to call it what it is, an aluminum survival capsule in the woods near Lake Houston. Yes, it's a good old-fashioned trailer, but inside it looks like someone binge-watched every home improvement show and tried to recreate it using glue and sheer enthusiasm, fresh paint, trendy floors, and a cute little kitchen. Huffman is true rural Texas, a place where every self-respecting local owns a boat, a pickup truck the size of a military tank, and a collection of fishing gear that costs more than this trailer. The pros? You are just a couple of minutes away from a massive, picturesque lake surrounded by peace, quiet, and absolutely zero city hustle. The cons? In the summer, the mosquitoes here reach the size of small drones and could easily carry away your chihuahua. Also, just like the previous listing, you are only buying the metal box itself. You rent the dirt it sits on. But if you have 30 grand in your pocket, strongly despise mortgages, and have always dreamed of drinking your morning coffee staring at pine trees while swatting away bugs, this is your personal 5-star resort. Cheap, rugged, and fiercely independent.
Let's leave the woods behind and head down to San Antonio, a city with rich history, amazing tacos, and our next $200,000 house, Coleman Street. Look at this beauty. A full, single-family detached home, charming exterior, neat lawn, and inside, a completely shiny, brand-new remodel. Gray vinyl floors, white shaker cabinets, trendy tile. The classic, painfully familiar, we bought this dump a month ago and flipped it as fast as humanly possible aesthetic. So what's the catch with this gorgeous home just a couple of miles from downtown? Open up the crime map for the east side of San Antonio, and you'll see it lighting up brighter than a Christmas tree. This historic neighborhood is currently in the middle of aggressive gentrification. This means that on one side of your house, a new vegan craft coffee shop might be opening up, while on the other side, your neighbor has a dismantled 1989 Chevy and a couple of highly anxious pit bulls in the yard. For $200K, you aren't just buying a house, you are buying a ticket to a social experiment. If you're willing to install some solid security cameras, get a large dog, and wait about 10 years for the neighborhood to become fully hipster, this is a brilliant investment. Until then, just try not to leave anything valuable on the backseat of your car.
And our final lot, San Antonio again, Callaghan Road. For $200,000, you are offered a rock-solid 1960s Texas brick home. 3 bedrooms, a massive lot, and mature oak trees providing gorgeous shade. Inside, the house looks like it belonged to someone's very neat grandmother. Slightly dated, but incredibly clean, spacious, and well-built. No HOA, no crazy fees. It seems we have finally found the holy grail of Texas real estate. But why is it so cheap? Look at the street name, Callaghan Road. This is not a quiet cul-de-sac and a sleepy subdivision. This is one of the busiest traffic arteries in this part of town. Callaghan Road is practically a racetrack where lifted pickup trucks and school buses fly by 24/7. Backing out of your own driveway every morning will require the reaction time of a Formula One driver and a quick prayer. Your morning coffee will vibrate on the kitchen table to the rhythm of passing 18-wheelers. On the bright side, it's a great way to make sure you're fully awake before work. So, there you have it, folks, the harsh reality of the Texas real estate market. $200,000 here is always a compromise. You can get a perfect home, but you have to be over 55. You can get a gorgeous remodel, but it comes with a high crime neighborhood. You can buy a cheap condo, but you'll be working to pay the HOA fees for the rest of your life. Or you can just give up, buy a $30,000 trailer, and go feed the mosquitoes at the lake. Perfect houses don't exist, but perfect irony definitely does. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments, which of these would you choose? Fighting off zombies in Houston or playing bingo with retirees in Pearland? See you in the next review.